Today we'll do examination of the motor system. Like this gentleman has come with complaints of sudden onset loss of power in the lower limbs. So we have to know what is causing loss of power in the lower limbs. We do a motor examination to know what kind of paralysis this is and where the lesion is. So how do we proceed with the examination? Is first we have a general look at the limb. You see the position of the limb extended at the knee and plantar flexion. This position of the knee, of extension at the knee and plantar flexion, suggests that it is an upper motor neuron lesion, and this is due to spasticity. There is increased tone. The increased tone is causing plantar flexion because the plantar flexors are the stronger muscle. There is hyperextension at the knee because the quadriceps are stronger than the hamstring, being anti-gravity muscles. So this will occur in any patient who has got hypertonia. Okay? So this is already suggesting that this is an upper motor neuron lesion. Now we proceed to examine the patient. So the first thing in motor examination is to assess the nutritional status of the muscle. That we assess by seeing the bulk of the muscle. So the bulk appears normal. We examine the lower 1/3 of the thigh, muscular area, and the upper 1/3 of the leg, where the calf muscle comes. So this appears, there is no atrophy of the muscle. Okay? So the nutritional status of the muscle is normal. This suggests, which is against lower motor neuron lesion. Now next, after nutritional status, we examine the tone of the muscle. Tone of the muscle is resistance of the muscle to a passive movement. So we do passive movement and see how the muscle resists. So at the knee, we hold the leg, lift the knee and do a flexion. It is velocity dependent, so you have to do it fast. So this, in this limb, the tone appears normal. And let's see in this. So initially, when you flex, there is the resistance and then it gives way. So this is what is known as spasticity. Increased resistance at the onset of the movement, which later gives way. Okay. Subtle signs could also be elicited by making movement of the foot. See the movement of the foot as compared to this. There is decreased movement as compared to this one. So these are subtle signs of hypertonia. And as there is increased resistance at the beginning followed by a give way sensation, this is what we call as spasticity or clasp knife hypertonia. After having judged the tone of the muscle, we look for reflexes, the deep tendon reflexes and the superficial reflexes. I'll do only in the lower limb just as a demonstration. So first one is the knee jerk. You support the leg and support the back of the knee. The quadriceps should be exposed. The tendon of the quadriceps, which is below the patella, has to be struck to elicit the sign. Okay. So this is an exaggerated response. This is hyperreflexia or exaggerated knee jerk. The root value of knee jerk is lumbar second, third and fourth. That's the spinal segment that supplies the quadriceps. Therefore this suggests that the lesion is above the second, third and fourth lumbar segment, which that means places it in a upper motor neuron lesion. Similarly, you can demonstrate on the opposite side. Okay, some people demonstrate together for comparison's sake. Okay, so both limbs are involved in hyperreflexia. Exaggerated knee jerk, root value L, 2, 3 and 4. Next we do ankle jerk. So flex the knee. Keep the patient in a comfortable position. The calf muscle should be stretched a little. The root value is L5 and S1. In such patients with an extensive upper motor neuron lesion where there is hypertonia spasticity and hyperreflexia, one more sign can be elicited, clinical sign called clonus. They will demonstrate ankle clonus in this patient. For that, the knee is supported and the foot is supported by the palm of the hand, and this gastrocnemius is suddenly stretched. And you see, there is series of contraction and relaxation. So long as the stretch is maintained, the muscle goes in a series of contraction and relaxation known as clonus. This is a sustained clonus. You can demonstrate on the other side as well. Support the knee, lift that. Clonus indicates hypertonia, spasticity, and indicates that there is an extensive upper motor neuron lesion. After having demonstrated these two reflexes, knee jerk and ankle jerk, you can do some superficial reflexes. You can do plantar response. You can see in this patient. Again, relax the patient by bending the knee. Grasp the lower end of the leg to keep the foot in a comfortable position and a firm position. Stroke the lateral aspect of the sole of the foot coming up to the ball of the great toe. You can notice extension of the great toe, fanning of the other toes, and I'll also demonstrate contraction of the tensor fascia lata of the thigh. Now you can also show a contraction of the tensor fascia lata. When you elicit plantar reflex, that is one component of the positive Babinski sign on the thigh. So the tensor fascia lata also contracts. Other superficial reflex that one can demonstrate here is the abdominal reflex. That is needed to find out the level of lesion. Right now, this examination indicates that the site of lesion is above L2. So we'll see whether the abdominal reflexes are also involved. Now the abdomen has to be stroked from outside inwards, both sides. Abdominal reflex, the root values start from T8, T9, T10 at the umbilicus, T12 at the inguinal ligament, and T11 between umbilicus and the inguinal ligament. So T8 to T12, dorsal 8 to dorsal 12. Now how it is to be done? From same point, midpoint on the outside, we stroke inwards towards the center. There is no response. This is indicating absence of abdominal reflex. As you see, the abdominal did not respond. We can demonstrate it on a normal person how forcefully the abdominal will contract when the abdominal skin is stroked. So there is absence of abdominal reflex. That means the lesion is above T8, dorsal 8. Now we can find out easily where it is. The upper limbs are not involved. There is no lack of power. There is no change in the tone. Therefore, the upper limb is not affected. So the lesion is below T1, dorsal 1 and above dorsal 8. So the lesion has now got localized between T1 thoracic segment and T8 segment. Now to find out the level of lesion, we need to take help of the examination of the sensory system. The point from where the sensory system is involved would be the involvement of the spinal segment. But at the moment we have concluded that the lesion is anywhere above T8 and below T1. The sensory system, simple one is just to touch the patient and see whether he can perceive the sensation. He can feel this and you compare elsewhere how it is. What he says is there is less sensation in the lower part. Now, the type of sensation that we examine is also significant. In such kind of spinal cord lesion, where you are suspecting a spinal cord lesion, if it is a compressive lesion from outside, we suspect that pain and temperature will get lost in the lowest segment. Therefore, it is better to check for pain as we ascend upwards. So, with the sharp end, I will just run over his abdomen so that he can feel the sharpness and whether he can perceive it. So, as we ascend, till here he has said that he is feeling less as compared to the upper part of the body. So from where does he start feeling normal? That we are going to find out, and that is going to tell us where the compression of the spinal cord is. जब माहीत पडेल तुम्ही असं हात वरती करायचं हात वरती करायचं जब माहीत पडेल तिथे जेव्हा येणार तर तुम्ही हात वरती करायचं. We gently raise it and ask him to tell from where he can start feeling the sensation. This is this level below which he can perceive the sensation, below which the sensation is diminished. Above this segment, the sensations are better. So this would be about T6, thoracic 6 level. Okay? So we can conclude easily that the lesion, the compression of the spinal cord is about T6. So that's why there is a loss of sensation with a definite level at T6. So that way we assess where the site of lesion is. Therefore this patient has upper motor neuron paraplegia with sensory involvement due to a lesion at T6. So that's how we diagnose.